Ottawa now, where Conservative Party Leader Pierre Poilievre is responding to Mark Carney's defence spending announcement. Let's listen in live.
Insane. So we can't wait any longer. We have to get things done, and it's going to take some backbone. And so we, as Conservatives, believe in pushing ahead with pipelines, and the shortest route is to the Pacific. You know, any other route is going to be even harder politically and physically. So we need a pipeline to the Pacific, and if the Prime Minister says he's going to wait till everyone agrees, then nothing will get done, which is what has been happening for the last decade.
To go back to defense spending.
We'll go to Stephanie, and then we'll go French.
Okay,
yeah.
Just to go back to defense spending, you talked about the need to get to 2%, but the global conversation now seems to be moving towards 5%. So do you support that, and do you see a realistic way that Canada can get there?
I haven't seen anyone hit 5%. Maybe I'm missing something. Has anyone hit 5% yet? Yeah. Who's at 5?
Not yet.
No one.
Yeah, Poland is getting about 4%.
Poland's up to 4, but I haven't seen any country hit 5. I think the Americans are 3.6 right now.
Yeah, 3.4.
3.4. This is my human encyclopedia here. You know, what I also think we need to remember is let's focus on what we get done with the money we spend. It shouldn't simply be a question of the dollar figure. You know, if the government has another 10 big boondoggles like they did on the F-35 by canceling and then rebuying it, they would be able to get up to 3 or 4% without increasing any of our capabilities. I want us to focus on our capabilities. Yes, we'll hit the 2%, and then we can discuss how much higher to go after that. But the focus of NATO and our country has to be what extra defense capabilities are we able to add, and how can we be the strongest possible military with the most affordable price tag to the taxpayer at the same time.
Pour atteindre le 2%, il y a 9 milliards de dollars de nouvelles dépenses.
There's new billion,
14 milliards
9 billion in new spending,
de dépenses qui existent
but 14
déjà, qu'on
billion
prend
of the
ailleurs, puis là tout d'un coup ça va être
exists
affecté à notre montant,
will be
à
assigned
l'OTAN.
to
J'aimerais savoir ce que
our
vous pensez
NATO amount.
et de ça, est-ce que vous pensez
What do
que
you think of that?
du
Comptabilité,
budget créatif?
What do you think about
Créatif ou
that?
pas,
Do you
ou au
think that's
contraire,
creative
d'autres pays le font?
accounting?
Qu'est-ce que vous en
Or
pensez?
are other countries doing that? What do you think? The Prime Minister has said that it is not creative accounting, if I'm saying that correctly in French.
La comptabilité créative.
He said it's not creative accounting. I'm eager to see the numbers. I would like to see what will be included in the 2% in order to bring up the acknowledged percentage. Obviously, we need to follow rules, but at the same time, if we have spending that is truly related to international security and national security, then it should be included in the 2%.
The question was about reprofiling. Do you have any comments on that? The reprofiling of existing expenses.
Sure. So we know that since 2017 that there's been a complete recalculation and creative accounting, I call it, that's been taking place, but it's allowed under NATO rules and has been for the last several years, which allows things like veterans pensions, some government of Canada, Global Affairs Canada, monies that deal with conflict resolution to be added into the defense numbers. We don't know exactly what those numbers are, though, and that's why we're seeing a bit of a delta here between what's in the new announcement, what's actually in the supplemental A's, and we know that there is money that's going to be coming over from Coast Guard because now Coast Guard is going to be absorbed in as well. However, NATO is still going to be watching whether or not Coast Guard remains a civilian organization the way it is. They still have their research to do. They still have their environmental ships as well as ice-breaking capabilities to make sure the St. Lawrence Seaway and elsewhere is maintained for commercial traffic. But at the end of the day, to be fully counted in for defense spending, they actually have to bring some security protocols to the table, and that means that ships may need to be armed up. That means that there has to be paramilitary personnel on board, not just civilians. And so these are the things that the Coast Guard is going to have to address, and we need to take a look at to see how it's going to affect their overall operations, and ultimately how those reprofiled dollars, which include now veterans pensions, to also, we're talking about 20% of the NATO number that's reported is made up of other departments, not national defense. And actually, when you start comparing apples to apples, what Liberals spent last year compared to what we spend is about the same.
Le ministre Champagne a évoqué ce matin un Buy Canada Act, M. Poilievre, pour prioriser les achats canadiens dans les
of this month as well. So let's get to some of
projet de loi-là.
Ça m'intéresse énormément. Nous devrions protéger notre souveraineté économique et nous devrions pouvoir approvisionner notre gouvernement avec les produits faits ici au Canada.
All right, there's Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre reacting to Mark Carney's defense spending announcement this hour. Carney, of course, says Canada will see a big boost in defense spending to hit our 2% NATO target by the end of the year. Mr. Poilievre talking about the need to increase our defense spending. He agrees on that, but says it's not just about the dollar figure. It matters what the government does with the money. And also says this is about strengthening our military while keeping the taxpayer in mind.